Hi, how are you today? And I hope you had a very good weekend. So I did at my end, I had a very restful weekend. Yes. And don't mind me, I'm emphasizing the word very because I have been looking forward to having such a very good rest, and I'm grateful to God for the opportunity to rest well, and my body is back to to produce more. So we'll be looking at how to use faith in healing, and when vitality sacks, try this health formula. So that's about 2 chapters in today's video. You'll be wondering, what correlation does faith and the power of positive thinking has together? Okay, so because the book we are reviewing is The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. Yeah, so don't forget that it all begins from the mind. So the healing process also begins from the mind. If you believe that as you're healing your body, you can be healed from that sickness, then you will be healed. So how do we use faith in this healing process? Yeah, there were a lot of life scenarios that were painted in the chapter, but for time we may not be able to talk about all of those life scenarios. So, but then we're made to understand that, and I want to believe that you agree with the author, that in the healing process, both the medical science and the science of faith are elements. They are, those two cannot be isolated. Like, you can't say, okay, you're just going for the medical science, you're not going for the faith science. Or you say, oh, you're sick in your body, then you are only going for the faith science, you will not do the medical. No, both are elements in the healing process. And while reading through the chapters, uh, Norman suggested some points on how we can use the faith in the healing process. So, number one is that believe that faith as well as medical technique are important in the healing process. Both are important elements in the healing process. Like we mentioned earlier, you cannot isolate the two. So both the medical science and the faith science are important technique in the healing process. Another one is pray for the doctor. Yes, the doctor is an expert. The doctor is a professional, but we are humans and we are prone to errors. So when you want to undergo any medical treatment and what have you, pray for your doctor. Pray that the hand of the Lord will rest on the doctor and he'll be able to do his or her work as expected. Then another point he suggested is that do not panic or be filled with fear. And the reason is fear sends out negative thoughts into the mind, and this could affect the healing process. So do not allow fear, run through your mind, even when you're going through this phase in your life. Then remember that God works by law, the spiritual law and the natural law. The spiritual law by faith, the natural law by medical science, the natural law through science. So remember that God works through laws. So don't isolate the two. Don't say you want to go for faith or alone, or you want to go for medical science alone. Remember that God works through law. The faith, the spiritual laws through faith, and the natural law through science. Then another one is completely surrender the concerned person into the hands of God. Yes, probably you have someone in your family that is going through some illness or ailment right now, and you've been trying everything possible. Just surrender the persons into the hands of God. God created the person. He created the person, and he knows us even before we were formed in our mother's womb. So he will come true for you as you surrender the concerned person into his hand. Then another point he suggested is let spiritual harmony prevail in the family. Reason is, if there is spiritual harmony in the family, then all the members of the family can come together to pray for the concerned person. So let spiritual harmony prevail in the family. Another one is form a picture of wellness in your mind. It all starts from the mind. Yeah, you're not feeling fine today, form the picture of wellness that you're fine, you're good, and everything is well with you. Form it. And by the time the healing starts from the mind, then you see that it transcends to the whole body. Then he said, be perfectly natural. Natural in what way? When you're asking God for help or for a need or something, try to use the magic word, please. Ask him pleasantly, not in a rude way. Don't start accusing God that is the cause of the illness, or will he not come and show up now? No. Ask him, be natural, use the magic word, please. And when he has done a lot for you and his goodness and all of that, thank him thereafter. So it still helps with our thought process. It still helps with our mindset eventually. So another chapter we'll be looking at is, the topic is when vitality sags, try this health formula. You'll be wondering, what vitality are we talking about? Yeah, we're talking about the nervous system. We are talking basically about anger, how anger affects our thought process, how it affects our mind, how it affects everything concerning us, aside our physical well-being, how it affects our work, how it disrupts a lot of things when we allow it to linger too much in our body system. So Norman also gave us some health formula on how to treat this anger problem that could sag our vitality. So he said, remember that anger is an emotion. When it is hot, find a way to cool it off. Yeah, there was this scenario my husband painted for me that I think it was one of the researches that he did, or he just went through conducted or something, that maybe he read it somewhere. Yeah, but he told me that he just disseminated that information to me, like, okay, that when you are hungry, or maybe your child or whoever angers you, don't stand. At that point, try as much as possible to sit. In your sitting, you are also, draining that level of anger. Because if you stand and you may not know, you may react out of proportion. So that could also be where one of suggested formula one could use to tackle the spirit of anger. So remember that anger is an emotion. It's just like when you are happy, it's an emotion. When you're excited, it's an emotion. So when it is hot, find a way to cool it off. Then say aloud to yourself, when you're hungry, say aloud to yourself, don't be a fool. This won't get me anywhere. Then you just press the skip it button. Don't be a fool. This will not get me anywhere. Just press the skip it button. Yeah. I'm very sure that every one of us, we are all humans. And sometimes our feelings are hot. You know, especially when you had not done anything that warranted the hot feeling and you get really, really angry. So, but then we need to find a way to tackle it so that we don't destroy a lot of things or relationships out of that momentary anger. Then another formula is suggested is that say the Lord's Prayer 10 times when you're hungry. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Imagine saying the Lord's Prayer 10 times when you're hungry. I bet it with you, you can't even get up to the 10 times before the anger would have dissipated. So when you're hungry, say the Lord's Prayer 10 times. Then make a list of everything that angers you. Make a list of everything that you think causes that anger. Then it helps. Why do you want to make the list? It helps dry up any remnant of anger any remnant that may want to fit the river of anger in you. By the time you are making the list, you already know these are the things that irritate me often. So you are trying to solve that issue of anger. Then make each of those irritation, the list you have made, make each of it an object of prayer. Take it back to God. This is what aggravates anger in you. these are some of the things that causes you to get angry fast. Take it to the Lord in prayer, make it an object of prayer. Then he also said, train yourself. Train yourself. It is never worth it to get worked up. By the time you train yourself, you're telling yourself, it's never worth it to get worked up or mad about anything. It's never worth it. So train yourself to be cool in the heat of situations that could aggravate anger in you. Then when a hot feeling situation arises, get it straightened out as quickly as possible. When you are hurt by someone or whatever, just get it straightened out as quickly as possible so that your vitality is not sacked by this. Then apply grievance drainage to your mind. What do you mean by grievance drainage? It's just like applying a straw, something that will drain the anger from you, from your nervous system. Applies. Everybody has what they could use. Some people, when they're angry, they move away from the object of anger or from the vicinity of that anger. So that could be a grievance drainage method of draining the anger from you at that point in time. So find what works for you that would drain that anger from you, and you see yourself, keeping cool even in the heat of something that could anger you. Then pray for the person who hurts your feelings. Pray for it works, really. It works. It's what I've done before. It can be very difficult, honestly. It can be very, very difficult to practice. But then as you imbibe in this, as you continue to do it, God makes it easy for you to do. So pray for the person who hurt your feelings. You realize that by the time you start praying for the person who has hurt your feelings, you are even healed in your own heart yourself. Then say this prayer with me. May the love of Christ fill my heart. May the love of Christ fill my heart. Then another point is stated is that you take the advice of Jesus. What is the advice of Jesus? Forgive 70 times daily, 70 times 7 on a daily basis. 70 times 7 is about 490 times in a day. So Jesus is saying, how many times do you have to forgive someone who hurt your feelings in a day? He says 70 times 7 times. That's 490 times in a day. It's not possible for one person to sit with you and keep hurting your feeling 490 times in a day. It's not possible. So as much as somebody is hurting your feeling in a particular day, keep counting. Keep counting, and let's see if you will get to that 490 times in a day. Then allow Jesus to take the control of your will. Allow him to take control of your will. Yeah. By the time Jesus take control of your souls, spirit, and mind, then you see that the spirit that dwells in him will also dwell in you richly. Then, before we go this today, you want to affirm with me. Yes. So we are going to be saying, bring my temper under control. So who are we talking to? We are talking to Jesus here. We've already given him the control of the will of our life. So we are now affirming, Lord, bring my temper under your control. So say it with me. Lord, bring my temper under your control. Give me your healing peace. Give me your healing peace in my nervous system and in my soul. Bring my temper under your control. Give me your healing peace in my nervous system and in my soul. As simple as that affirmation is, you'll be surprised at the results that it will bring forth. So this week, go in this dynamic. Use the faith element in the healing process as much as you are using the medical science element also. Then remember that anger amounts to nothing. There is no advantage in getting angry. It only destroys things. It's disadvantageous to you and to people around you. So don't let anger sag your vitality. use the earth formula and ask God to help you. And I hope that you have a very wonderful week. And until next time, God bless you.